Hello, welcome back to the channel. I've got another Vitality Vindicator video for you. As always, I'll try and keep this short and it'll end up dragging on and on. I haven't posted any videos for a while. I've had an awful lot of real world stuff taken over my life and I haven't really been able to do much at all. But yeah, I've got half an hour free today and I thought, I'll just quickly get a video together. Bare minimum preparation, so yeah, it's going to be the usual thing where I start off talking about something and go off on a massive tangent. Now, Vitality Vindicator, I'll put a couple of links in the description going back to the original videos for this thing. I had a plan at the start, and it went the way of all plans. It's ended up pretty much how I wanted it to. It's got it's only got a couple of toggle skills. It's only got Mogdragon's and Aura of Censure toggle skills and a few active skills to use. And I'm also still not entirely sure about Savagery. I mean, you can do this as a caster and forget Savagery, or you can use a gun and put points into ranged expertise instead of Savagery. So as with a lot of the stuff I've been doing recently, this is, I go out on a limb and call this an easy gear build, because you can buy or target farm the majority of, well, I say the majority, okay, some of the gear for this build, and the other bits aren't really that important. Now, if you want to do a Word of Pain build, that's, you know, a Vindicator that uses Word of Pain, you can do that. Now, this Word of Pain isn't set up the way you'd maybe set it up if you were using it as a leveling skill. Leveling skill, I'd stick 1 point in that and max that thing out. But I'm using it more, I want to get as much damage out of it as possible. So yeah, that Word of Pain is actually directly affected and buffed by Bloodrug's Plagued Edge. Now, Bloodrug's Plagued Edge, the things on that are always there, whether it's a low level one you get in normal or a high level one you pick up in ultimate, the elemental damage, 100% elemental damage converted to vitality damage to Word of Pain, and the minus 10% vitality resistance to Word of Pain, it's always there. Other bits and pieces on there possibly aren't, and they're there specifically because of the prefix and suffix adding a few bits and pieces in. The elemental damage converted to vitality damage, that 42%, it's not always 42%. I've got another one of these knocking around somewhere, this one here. Right, so there you go. So that will show you, you can look at that and you can maybe figure out what stuff's always there. So the elemental damage converted to vitality is always there, which is great. The flat vitality damage, I'm guessing, I'm not talking about the thing that's part of the weapon. I'm talking about that, on the one it's 33 and on the other it's 34 vitality damage. I've got a feeling it might always have that on there. Yeah, I reckon. But stuff like attack speed, casting speed, offensive ability, yeah, I don't know whether attack speeds may be always on there. Okay, but anyway, doesn't matter. The important thing is, it's the stuff that buffs Word of Pain. So if you want to use Word of Pain, if you don't use this item, you'll have to rely on elemental damage conversion coming from other things, like stuff like that. That converts elemental damage to vitality damage, and you've got this lunar girdle. That again, you can go and target farm that, and you can use it if you need to. If you've got a gap in your elemental damage conversion, grab that belt. Forget the fact that it's a pet thing and it's an occultist thing, whatever. You know, you could just use it for the elemental to vitality damage conversion. So like I say, off at a bit of a tangent. What we'll do is talk about, so that you can target farm that Bloodrug's Plagued Edge. I'll put Grimtool's item links in here, and that will tell you, you can go onto Grimtools and you can look at a map and it will show you where to go and get this and all that. It's in the Ashes of Malmouth expansion, that thing. So if you've got the base game, if you haven't got Ashes of Malmouth, forget it, you can't get that. As with Packler's skins, that's another thing that's in Ashes of Malmouth area. You can go and target farm that. Now that's pretty cool. That buffs does vitality damage stuff to Wendigo Totem, which I'd be using all the time, no matter what else. But it also converts stuff lightning to vitality on savagery, so it kind of makes it worth using savagery, but you don't have to. But yeah, so that's good. You can target farm that. Again, that's in the Ashes Malmouth area. That's up around the Coven out in Ogden Bog. You can go and farm those things. There's leaf main alphas and whatever all over the place. You can get them. I've got the original video in this series is about this. I got a whole bunch of stuff about it. I love that item. That item's really good. You get that on an apostate, which is a Necro and an Inquisitor. I did that and it was really strong character. It's kind of in my jokey super OP best build ever video. I mean, it's obviously not the best build ever. No one's ever got the best build ever. I mean, there'll be people out there who tell you they have. I mean, I said it as a joke and I got some weird comments, but yeah, that aside. So that item's really great. You can go and target farm that. So the weapon, the offhand, the helmet, that thing, you can go and buy that from the hidden shop in the Bloodgrove. It's just got to get me west and north from the Bloodgrove. So if you go, it's Ultimates, I haven't been there. If you go to the Bloodgrove thing and you just walk a little bit that way and then under a bridge and whatever, you can go and buy that, and you can force the vendor to refresh until you get one that you like. And you'll always have that, see that stuff at the bottom, 120% vitality damage to Moldrigan's Pact, 120% vitality decay to Moldrigan's Pact, 5% physical resistance to Moldrigan's. That's always on there. I think the +2 to Moldrigan is always on there as well. And then if you force the vendor to refresh, you'll be able to get a version of that that has got the resistances on that you need, or whatever else, spirit, health, whatever you want on there. And I've got a video showing, I'll put that in the description as well, how to get to that shop and how to force him to, the quickest, easiest way to get him to refresh his stash without, quitting the game. Elite Bismeal Vile Vestments, you can buy that, +3 to Inquisitor Seal and Vitality Damage on it. And again, you can play the vendor restock kind of exploit to get the highest resistances on it that you can get. It's good for a laugh. You can buy that. If you don't want to buy that, you can go and farm that thing. See, that hasn't got any conversion on it. That converts ether damage, which I'm pretty sure you won't be doing at all, to vitality, so it's a bit wasted. But it's you've got a better chance of maybe getting better resistances on that than on something in a shop where the resistances won't change. The values will, but the actual resistances won't. Whereas if you're farming those things around Forgotten Gods area, you might get one drop with some really crazy high resistances on. Same with that. You can go and sort of almost target farm that. You can find out the rough areas where the enemies drop that and just keep running through those areas. So that you can buy, that you can target farm, that you can target farm. That, I mean Ultimate's still messing about running around with Leovinus Ring on because it's got 24% elemental resistance, and I was struggling a bit. I mean, that's not so bad, that's not so bad, that's a bit rubbish. Oh yeah, one thing I need to point out, I've come into Ultimate and not done an awful lot. I've been running around. I need to get components and augments on what I would call my final bits of gear, in order to get all these things above 80%. I mean, look at that. That's just rubbish, as is that. But don't. I mean, I'm not saying do it this. I'm saying go and get components and get augments and get yourself sorted out for resistances. This isn't the final way this thing's going to look. It's going to look a lot better. But it's so resilient due to leeching health and a few other things that I'm quite happy running, well, and the fact that it's not hardcore, I'm quite happy running around with a few of these resistances below 80 at the moment. End goal, they won't be, they'll be fine, they'll be sorted out. So yeah, Leovinus Ring, I mean, and there's that thing that dropped. That's alright actually. Death Lord's banned, it's alright. But at least I've got some component and augment on that, so I don't look a complete prat. That, yeah, I mean, there's other, I think I've got, I'm not carrying much around. Gloves, I haven't got any alternatives, have I? It's really anything that drops, because you can't buy them and you can't go and farm. I don't think there's any gloves you can go and target farm. Same with boots, you just have to make do with what drops. For level 50, I mean, I can't believe, those are probably better. I don't know, maybe. Quite like the drain soul thingy on that 30% chance when hit. But yeah, I mean, I'd have to look it up. I'm not even sure whether those Deadwalkers have got an empowered or a mythical version. Mythical Deadwalker footpad. Sounds like they might have. I don't know. Can't remember. I should know. But yeah, so gloves and boots, I mean, whatever you can get. Pants, whatever you can get. Depending on... I reckon if you went range, because you can buy that gun. See that gun there, right? You can buy that. I mean, I did mess about with this for a bit. If you're going to use a gun... Right, where's my flipping... Oh, where is it? Right, now I've got to find that. You know what I'm looking for, Namadia's Eye. Where's that? There it is. Right. If you're going to use a gun, get a Namadia's Eye. And that I've got a video about that as well. And that's the right faff. You've got to get that in normal. Get a gun, get a Namadia's Eye. Look what Namadia's Eye does to ranged expertise. Okay? So ditch savagery. Don't worry about savagery. Because that, I'm pretty sure savagery is... what does it need? Does it savagery default weapon attack? Actually, maybe savagery... I'll try it out. I reckon that'll work with a gun, wouldn't it? It doesn't say, because it's Primal Strike says it requires a two-handed melee or two-handed ranged weapon. Savagery doesn't specify. Yeah, okay. Okay. Pretty sure. Alright, so yeah, I can't. Yeah, it's a cunning issue, isn't it? Yeah, so you've got to have the right, you've got to, you know, rejig your attributes a bit to be able to use a gun. But if you're going to use a gun, use Namadia's Eye. If you're not going to use a gun, you can use something else. You can buy that. That's from the Soleil shop in Conclave of the Three. Just go and buy it. It does a bit of vitality damage. Attack damage convert to health, not really great if you're doing a caster, because you're obviously, it's specifically going to be weapon damage it's talking about on an item like that, not cast spells or anything. That won't you won't get attack damage converted to health on the spell unless the spell somehow uses weapon damage, a percentage weapon damage. That thing, yeah. So I mean, you can see what I do. I mean, it's the same old thing. Old video about this as well. If you get tab 2 up and whatever you've got in that right mouse button, I wouldn't say left because you can't put much in there. I mean, you can put savagery on there, but you can't put anything else there. So you got savagery, and savagery does that. If you swap the thing over, and you can see it drops about, savagery drops a couple of hundred damage swapping that over. So yeah, you might have to, you know, you'd find something better. If you can't find something better, go and get one of them. If you can find something better, use it. That's a bit rubbish. Torment, there's probably better vitality ones, but I don't really care at the moment. It's okay. I haven't really bothered trying to make a better relic. Those things are alright. They're level 50, aren't they? Yeah, you probably get better ones of those. Again, it's not... Yeah, okay. But they do have a +2 to Wendigo Totem on. So, okay, so summarise the gear. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 items there that you can either target farm quite easily or buy from a faction shop once you've got high enough rep. So you're laughing with that. Just I'll just mention this, which is interesting. If you look at the skills down, if you hover over something here and look at what it tells you it's doing, sometimes it's right, sometimes it's not right. Word of Pain has actually got the damage conversion on it. See that? 1219 vitality damage. 1219 vitality damage. That's correct, I think. Whereas Aura of Censure is not correct. That's showing you what that will do, but it's not taking the damage conversion into consideration. Now, I'll prove this. So that's talking about 327 fire damage, 428 burn damage. But if you put it on here, hover over it, right, you see the same thing. 327 fire damage, 428 burn damage. That's not the damage it's doing. That's the damage it would do without any conversions and stuff on. That is what it's actually doing. 1,600 and something vitality and 900 and something odd vitality decay. And if you read that, it says damage breakdown against a single target modified by all bonuses from equipment and skills. Does not factor in enemy defenses. Right. So that's actually factoring in the modifications from equipment and skills. That is not. So you could look at that and you could think, oh no, I'm doing fire damage. That's rubbish. You're not doing fire damage. You're doing vitality damage and vitality decay damage with Aura of Censure. So when you Aura of Censure is like it will damage stuff that's near you. So these dummies here, right, they're taking damage from Aura of Censure, and it's classified as an attack. So all the gear that you're wearing, all the gear that you're wearing that says it triggers on attack is getting triggered when Aura of Censure is affecting those dummies. So these things, when it's shooting out stuff like those ice bolts and these pools of glop that are formed underneath, that's because they're getting triggered by the attack that Aura of Censure is doing. And that's not something, the game's not going to explicitly explain that to you, but that's what's happening. Try and get away from them. Right, so that's the gear. Hopefully that made a bit of sense. I mean, I'll put a Grim Tools link and you can go and browse these items at your leisure. So the skills, Word of Pain, fine. Aura of Censure, doing a bunch of vitality damage. That thing, awesome. Plus it's got Wendigo's mark on it, the constellation. Just a massive source of damage converted to health from that constellation. Deadly aim, any critical hit landed by a spell or an attack or whatever will set that off. I don't know whether there's Aura of Censure setting it off. Don't know whether Aura of Censure can get crits. I should know this. You can get misses. Thing is, his OA is so low, perhaps he's not getting any crits. Anyway, don't worry about that. I do get crits, just not from Aura of Censure. Right. What was I talking about? That's right. So yeah, so it's like a kind of minimal bunch of stuff on Inquisitor, and you might want to ditch savagery and put a point in there and use a gun, use an Amadeus Eye and a gun, and then that thing, the piercing damage is converted to vitality and it adds some flat vitality damage in. I think. I hope I'm right about that. Yeah. Oh, it doesn't add flat. Yeah, it does. Look, 819 vitality damage to ranged expertise. You might not get 819. That's all to do with that figure that's showing there is affected by the buffs and whatever that I've got. But it adds a flat vitality damage to ranged expertise, and it adds attack damage converted to health, and it converts 100% of the piercing damage. So that, yeah, if you put 1 point in that 16 piercing would become 16 vitality, and then you've got a gun. Like I said, the apostate I uses a gun, and it's a laugh a minute. Shaman skills, so not, it's not much. I mean, that's a passive-y kind of thing. That's the thing you stand on. That's a toggle passive-y kind of, well, it's an attack, but once you toggle it on, you're sorted. And Word of Pain's, you're only going to be shooting people with Word of Pain on that. Shaman, Mogdragons, again, it's just all defensive stuff. Savagery, which you don't need, but I've been using. And I've got Wendigo Totem and Storm Totem with that vitality conversion node on it. There's not a lot. I mean, it's not loads of skills. Not at all. And, I could maybe ditch let's put savagery back on actually. I could ditch savagery and take Word of Pain off that button and stick it over here, whatever. There's all sorts of things you can play about with. I'd recommend using this setup though for the devotions, because you've got that on Inquisitor Seal, that's awesome. That attack damage converted to health, and that's on Inquisitor Seal, which is like a pulse damage thing. And it's got, well, this is 15% chance on attack. That'll go off quite a lot, I reckon. That thing's really good. Tip of Scales is really good. If you look at that, you got, you know, like 1 in 3 hits could set that thing off, deal a massive load of vitality damage, and 120 something % of attack damage converted to health. Just crazy. I don't even know how that works. I honestly don't know how that works. That's alright. Feated Pool, and that's just brilliant. It's like minus 22% vitality resistance. There's all sorts of things on here that drop their resistance actually, but so that's that. So I'm in Ultimate, and yeah, I mean, I haven't even been up to Burridge Village yet, but I open this out. That's Word of Pain. See, look, takes them out quite quickly. So you stick Word of Pain on them, which lowers their resistances, and you've also then got these totems that attack. You can put more than one storm totem down. See, I'm not using savagery. It's almost like you could ditch savagery. I mean, I use savagery on these boys, right? I'm hitting them. That's savagery hitting them. But I think I'd be happier with a gun. I'd rather either just go a complete caster build or use a gun. You see what I was saying about I haven't got loads of components on. My resistances are all over the place. They're not great, but it's not like a massive issue, and that's mostly to do with the life leeching. See all them crowding now. Look at my health. I'll go and see what these undead do in this cave. I haven't been in here yet. But look at my health. It dipped a bit and then came straight back. But we'll see what these ghosts do in here. This might be a bit more of a roller coaster ride. Oh, you want it, you cows? Come on, man. Right, so if you have a look, I'll get the map up when I go in here, so you can see I'm not lying. See, I've not been in here. This is the first time, because the map's not explored at all. I haven't been in this cave, so I don't know. I'm just guessing I'll be fine in here and everything will just die. Let's go and pull a load of these ghosts. Right, just keep an eye on the health. See, look at it. It hardly moves. These boys are quite dangerous. This could cause me some damage. I'm not shooting anything, I'm not using savagery, I'm just dumping the totems and hitting them with Word of Pain. And if I get the chance, I'm just standing there. Look at my health. I know I keep saying that, but... Right, so... Bleeding's down, ether. Well, yeah, I suppose they were probably doing cold damage. I don't know whether they were doing ether. So my elemental resistances are sort of alright. That, yeah, like I was saying, if I come over, you see that 67, but as soon as you put that thing down, this 80 is 22% over because I'm standing on that Inquisitor Seal. And the Inquisitor Seal, as you all know, 35% elemental resistance, so it's 35% cold, 35% fire, 35% lightning resistance, which is another reason why that apostate that uses this can do Lokar so easily, because Lokar mainly does fire and lightning, I think, and then on that apostate it's like 70 or 80% over. What we got here? Oh, Spectral War Shield. There you go. That's good for a Drain Essence build. 30% skill energy, minus 30% skill energy cost to Drain Essence. It's that grey writing at the bottom. What else? Spectral. Yeah, I haven't used Piercing and Bleeding. I haven't used, because it's, you got to watch it with the prefixes on that. I've never used one of those really. Shield Maidens. What's that? 2 to Oak Skin, Decimate, Bleed, Epic Amulet. Actually, pick that up. Whatever. Spectral Longsword. Yeah, can't be bothered. Let's go and kill Baron Whatsit, because I know what you're thinking. This is going to be rubbish against a big boss, single target. And you're probably right, but we'll see. It doesn't matter. As far as I'm concerned, if you hardly take any damage and the thing you're fighting eventually dies, all's good. The Word of Pain is just ripping them apart. So what's happening is Word of Pain is lowering their resistances, and the totems are dealing damage to them of a type that is vitality damage that is lowered by Word of Pain. So it all works really nicely together. And you wouldn't normally do a Shaman and think of a Vitality build, and you wouldn't normally do an Inquisitor and think of a Vitality build. But because of the gear and some of the natural, yeah, that thing went out quite quickly. Ooh, what's that? Oh, I tell you what. I'll tell you about that quickly. That Cataclysms thing, that's part of a set. Now that, if you're doing a, it's that there, isn't it? If you're doing a Purifier or whatever, fire damage, elemental damage thing, that's awesome. And if you look at if you get the 3 parts of that set, +2 to all skills, so it's not mastery specific. So you can do like a fire, elemental damage, whatever thing. And you're not thinking, oh damn it, I didn't use a demolitionist. Well, I mean you probably would, but if you didn't use a demolitionist, you get +2 to all skills off that. It's not like +2 or +1 to some specific mastery. So that's really good. That's a nice item. I've had those before. I've had the full set of that before, a long time ago, and used it on I think it was on a Purifier. Where are you, Radlith? Come here, you muppet. Right, watch this now. Right, I'm not going to hit him. I'm just going to stand there. And I'm just going to keep recasting stuff. I'm not using savagery. I'm just standing there, because that's the whole point of this. Look at my health. And this isn't. I'm not showing off. I'm showing you how good this is. Look at it. The house not moved a bit and came back. And I'm not even doing anything now. I've given up. I'm just watching him die. Right. So, there might be an alternative opinion out there of like, oh, if you were to use this skill and this item and this legendary set, you could, take him out a few seconds quicker. But I've got a bunch of shop stuff, target farmable stuff, gear that's just like, what is that? That's level rubbish. That's not a best in slot relic. It's level 50 boots. And I've got 1, 2, 3, I'll call that 4 resistances that are subpar, they're below what they should be. But he went down. I'd say that was easy. I wasn't there going, oh my god, my health. It's like, it's a lot of fun. And the thing is, what you take from this is, I'm not saying, oh well, yeah, I can't. Oh yeah. See, the paradox of that item is it's awesome, and it's awesome for a Nightblade, but it's not. It's an offhand. So you get a Nightblade and you think, oh yeah, I can dual wield, it'll be so great. That's not a weapon. That's an offhand. So you kind of, I might have to do a build around that at some point, just have a laugh and do a Nightblade caster or something, a Nightblade and a cultist. But anyway, sorry, what was I talking about? Yeah, so hopefully what you get from this is, I'm not saying get that exact gear set up and get that exact skill set up. You can get to this point, and then you can think, what do I want to do? How can I have some fun with this? Because you can change some of that stuff around. You could take Word of Pain out. I mean, I originally this build wasn't using Word of Pain at all, and then I got Bloodrug's that thing, and I thought, oh come on, let's have a go with that then. And it's really good. And that minus 10% vitality resistance, you've got to remember there's all that other stuff that's doing minus vitality resistance as well. And that's another reason my stuff's dying quite easily. What's that? Dithering or whatever. Yeah. If I don't pick that up, I won't be tempted to use it. Right. So I'm just going to stand there. I'm not going to cast. Right, so that because of health, I'm not actually using any skills, and the health's coming back, and that's from stuff that's on constellations. So even without actively firing off any skills, they're finding it really difficult to kill me, and they're dying because stuff's firing back at them. That was me doing nothing and a bunch of stuff died. And it's not a retaliation build, it's not retaliation damage. It's just fun, it's just... well, I like... I got to the point in life now where I like what you call lazy builds, where you just... You're not there thinking, oh no, you know, I've got to fire off these skills in this particular order, or I've got to do this, or I've got to do that. Or, you know, oh, if only I had this legendary set, I'll have to go and play the game for 6,000 hours and hope I get the legendary set. I try and avoid doing that in videos. I mean, there's a Dark Blaze set, Dark Blaze Pyromancer. It's one of my favourite builds, but I try not to do a video on that and go, oh yeah, this is the best build ever, you've got to do this, because I know how long it takes to get a set like that, and that's not even, I think it's a 4-piece set. It's not even a horrendous 5-piece set or whatever. I don't know if you get I think you can get a blueprint for the helmet, maybe you can shortcut it, but yeah, these days what I try and do is stuff that you can farm the items, mostly built around monster infrequents. So what these are, it's a monster infrequent, as is that. That's technically a monster infrequent, isn't it? But you can go and buy it from a shop, so that's great. Buy that, farm that, monster infrequent, buy that from a shop, or wear that. Yeah. So that's dropping my poison and acid, but it's putting the lightning up. But because I get so much elemental resistance from Inquisitor Seal, I'd rather keep it that way around, because that's only slightly over. I can improve that, because there's a lot of things. There's that. Let's see how many things I haven't got components on. 1, 2. That has. Wow. Oh, it's got Venom Guard Powder on it as well. There's nothing. Well, there's augment on that. See, either of those, if you had a real gap in ether damage or chaos, there's things you can put on the weapons that will buff that. Nothing on that. No augment on that. No augment on that. It's only got Trav on it. Nothing at all on that. Nothing on that. So those gaps, the bleeding and this, easy to patch up and fill and get over 80. But I was just messing around thinking, well, I don't want to start messing about putting components and augments on stuff that I'm maybe not going to use. I don't know. You can always claim them back. And the thing about shop bought stuff and target farmable, I mean, even if you accidentally deleted it or sold it or lost it, you can just go back and get another one. It's really... yeah, it's might as well do this. Are you him? Say what you want. Sorry. Blah blah blah. He'll just be more friendly now when I talk to him at Homestead. Like, I haven't been here before. I mean, it's first time in here. I mean, I really should go back and do Krieg, but generally what I'll do is I'll go and do Cronley and faff about and do a bunch of other stuff, and eventually go back and kill Krieg when I can be bothered. Let's open this thing up here. I don't know what my reputation's like. I think most of them are... Yeah, Ugs. Yeah, it's because I have mandates on. You get mandates on, you're going to go, ooh, Death Vigil. You haven't really done much with them. You don't get a lot from Death Vigil for this character. But yeah, so that... I'll leave it at that. Hopefully. Hopefully that was fun to watch. It's... Yeah, so get your guy to this state. Get yourself a Bloodrugs thing. Go and buy that from the Bismail shop. Hopefully you farmed one of them in normal. Otherwise, it doesn't matter if you didn't. It doesn't matter if you didn't, because you can play it as a caster or turn it into some kind of crazy melee build. Because there was something, there's some weapon or some item, I can't remember, that does vitality damage to primal strike, but then you're not going to be able to use that because primal. Well, okay. If you've got the one item, the one legendary item in the game that lets you have it's either a mace, I think it's an axe, either a mace or an axe. What's it called? Storm Render or something. And it lets you use a single-handed weapon with Primal Strike. But it's not going to be the best thing for a vitality conversion, because you'd have to have that there. And then this thing that allows you to use Primal Strike, and then possibly, I'll have to look into it. I can't remember what the item was that let you have vitality damage on Primal Strike, but you'd be a bit of a mess. Or you can just go two-handed. There's some guns and some other stuff two-handed. Soul Lance, or is that the Ether one? Can't remember. But I think there's a vitality gun, and you can use that. Obviously, you've got a two-handed gun. You can use that with Primal Strike. And then, but I don't know what would convert it to vitality. There is something that converts to vitality. Some item, can't remember. But yeah, for this, it's more like you're either going to want that or that, and then you're going to have to rejig your points. Just try and get one of those with like tons of cunning on it. You can go and refresh that vendor until you get one of them with tons of cunning on it. I think I did that. I reckon I still got one knocking around somewhere. Where is it? Yeah, there you go, look. Ah, right. So this is what I was talking about. So if you swap that round... I haven't got enough spirit for that now. Why's that? 498466. I must have had some cunning on some other item. But yeah, so you go and get one of them that's got a bunch of cunning on it. Have a fiddle about with your attributes. Use a gun. Use an Amadeus Eye. And you'll probably be alright. Depends if you want to use a gun or not. If you don't use a gun, so what you could do with this... Let's go back here and just break this character. I'm going to take the points out of Savagery. No longer use it. Because it's... Alright, it's wasting that. Because that's banging vitality stuff onto Savagery. But I'm hardly using Savagery. I'm not using it. I'm just standing there casting. So I can go up to this friendly person, and I haven't got a constellation on it either, so I can take these points out. There you go. So I took some points. So I've not got Savagery anymore, so that's gone. So what I can do is I can get rid of Word of... Hang on a sec. And clear that out. Stick Word of Pain on there. Where's it gone? And then I've got 5 points. I could... So that's maxed out. That's maxed out. That's maxed out. That's maxed out. Shaman looking. Maxed, 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 maxed. So this is a good thing about only having a few skills. You can max a bunch of stuff out. What do I want to do? What does that do? 52 elemental. Well, that adds elemental damage. I think my elemental damage is being completely converted anyway. All those resistances aren't much use. What does that do? Lightning, fire. Oh, hang on, lightning damage. Oh, it increases the area. Yeah, so let's bung that up a bit. So now I'm a caster. Let's just go and have a look and see if I can cope with. Right, I've got to remember what I'm doing now. I've changed these buttons around. So you walk up to a fight, hit them with word of pain, stick your seal down, stick your totems down, everyone's dead. Let's find a big group. Yeah, I kind of like this. Yeah, any significant damage I'm taking, it's gonna be because of those resistances that aren't that great. Ooh, look, I leveled up. Yeah, the thing about once you get to 94 and there's no gear that you can't equip. Well, apart from attribute restrictions. Will of Ratosh has reached 14. So all these undead, they're going to pop out the ground here with a bit of luck. Oh, look at that lot. This will be fun. Yeah, I might die. Come back here, you. Yeah, I need to get the... Oh, look at that. Dread Rune. Mythical. Did I have mythical ones? Or did I just have... Oh, yeah, I saw... No, Dead Walker. Is that... Where's it flipping gone? It's trousers, isn't it? Okay. Did I have... I had a pair of them. No, I already had a pair of them. Cheers, game. Right. So yeah, so that looked a bit iffy, didn't it? But that's because some of those resistances are so bad that I took a lot of damage from those things. Didn't die though. Right, I'll just go up and get this next rift and then quit. With a bit of luck, that was informative enough that you didn't watch it and think, what a waste of my life watching this flipping video. And if you do one of these things, as with quite a few of my guides, I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying, you know, you've got to get this exact gear setup, you've got to get this exact skill setup. Have a mess about with it, because it's cheap enough to refund the points. You know, you might want to do something totally different. But if you want to do Vitality build, using two masteries that don't naturally tend to be good Vitality masteries, give it a try. And if you give it a try and love it or hate it, or wish you'd not wasted however many hours on it, drop a comment and say, you know, this build sucks. I wish I'd stuck with something else. Maybe I'll do some more pet stuff soon. Right. Thank you very much for watching that, and once again tolerating my off at a tangent, meandering commentary. And I will see you all very soon. Well, hopefully sooner than the gap between this video and the last video. Very soon in the next one.